was me breaking the hater's arms. Welcome to the video. Yes, I'm keeping this on my face the whole time because it matches the aesthetic. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back. We're in a different corner of my room this time because this is where I keep all my Stranger Things collectibles. Check the background. I won't explain everything, but if you have questions in the comments, just ask. Today's video is kind of different, but it's gonna be kind of fun. These are my Stranger Things 5 predictions, because Stranger Things 5 comes out in a week as this video comes out. As I'm recording, it comes out in a week and a couple days, but a week. I have a list of all of my predictions, or all my main ones, because I probably have more that are pretty small, but yeah, there are a lot of them. Some of them are short, some of them are long, some of them require explanations, and some of them don't. So we will just have fun with it. Okay, into the video. Number 1, Will has powers. Now, a lot of people don't want Will to have powers, but I don't care, okay? Here's my reasoning behind it. So, they could go one of two ways with this. One of them, I don't care for the theory, and the other one is what I think. So the one I don't care for is there's a theory that Will's dad, Lonnie, tried to make a quick buck and took Will to Hawkins' lab in, like, their peak experimenting with Eleven, and he took Will there to get experimented on to make a quick buck. I don't think so, because Joyce and Jonathan would probably know, unless Lonnie had Will sign like a blood waiver so that he wouldn't tell the other two. But that one, I don't care for that theory. I think Will be born with powers just like Henry / Vecna, because in season 1, Joyce refers to Will as a sensitive kid.
Look, he's a sensitive kid.
In which Victor Creel also refers to Henry as a sensitive kid when he's explaining what happened when Henry, you know, the rest of the family.
My boy, he was a sensitive child.
It's also interesting just because of how many parallels there are between Will and Henry. Just example after example. I'm not going to go over all of them because that would be a totally different video. Number 2, Eleven loses her powers for good, but she doesn't mind it this time because she loses them defeating Vecna for good. So she's okay with losing her powers because she knows she won't need them anymore, and she's okay just being Jane, I guess. It's so weird calling her Jane, but whatever. Number 3, Steve either dies or comes close to death. This one ties into another one I have, which is Dustin is going to be very moody and depressed this season since losing Eddie, which has basically been confirmed, but it's on here anyway. And so I know everyone thinks Steve is going to die, but the more I think about it, the less I think they will do that. Because yeah, his character arc is like basically begging for death at this point. But I don't think they'll do that because Dustin just lost Eddie and he's working through that grief this season. I don't think they'll add Steve dying on top of that. Number 4, Nancy ends up single after realizing she wants to focus on her future rather than a relationship with Jonathan or Steve. If you know me, you know I am proud of Jancy. I can't stand Stancy. I don't want Steve and Nancy to get back together, ever. I do want Nancy to end up single this season, because I just feel like her character doesn't warrant a love story, and that's not to say she can't be a strong, independent character without being single, but I think it would just be good for her to be single. Number 5, Holly gets taken by Vecna and it really messes with Mike, causing him and Will to go into the Upside Down together, Flickergate canon. Now, if you don't know what Flickergate is, I encourage you to go do some research and then continue the video, but basically Flickergate is a Byler theory, because in episode 1 of season 1, when Will pedals away before the Demogorgon takes him, the lights flicker, and then we know from season 4 that the Upside Down is stuck in 1983. I'm doing a really bad job explaining it. Go do some research on Flickergate. But I feel like Holly getting taken will be like a good, not a good push, but like something that could really push Mike's character into a redemption arc, maybe, because so many people hate him for how he acts in seasons 3 and 4. It's really hard to be a Mike Wheeler defender in this day and age. Number 6, Byler happens after Will and Mike have a semi-fight in which Will blows up and confesses his feelings in an angry/upset rant. This will directly parallel their fight in season 3.
You're destroying everything, and for what? So you can swap spit with some stupid girl? Elle's not stupid. It's not my fault you don't like girls.
So this will directly parallel that, and it will just like hit Mike like a train, and then maybe they'll kiss afterwards. I don't know. Number 7, this one is pretty straightforward. Robin ends up with Vicky in the end, which again has also been pretty much confirmed. I've been trying to stay away from spoilers of episode 1, but obviously I'm going to see some, and it's pretty much canon. Number 8, Will and Eleven team up with Will's newfound powers and completely destroy Vecna and the gates to the Upside Down, sealing it up for good. And then afterwards, Eleven loses her powers. Will Will keep his powers? I don't know. That's up for the Duffer Brothers to decide. I really don't care. I just want him to have powers this season, and I want him to go crazy, because he deserves to go crazy after all the crap he's been through this season. Number 9, Mike and Nancy have a heart-to-heart after either Ted or Karen dies, I don't know which, paralleling the small one they have towards the end of season 1, and Mike confesses to Nancy that he's in love with Will, and he doesn't love Eleven in a romantic way. So this will parallel, there's going to be a lot of parallels between season 1 and 5, because season 5 is like answering so many questions we have from season 1, so there will be a lot of parallels. But this will parallel their little talk in season 1 after she finds out that he's been keeping Eleven in the basement for the whole week.
Hey. No more secrets, okay? From now on, we tell each other everything. Okay.
Number 10, Eleven and Mike break up in episode 1 or 2, Elle realizing she needs to focus on herself in order to defeat Vecna and find herself in the process. I think Eleven just needs to be single this season. She doesn't need to end up with anybody. And I know the shippers are going to be mad at me. Oh, but she needs to end up with Mike. Oh, she needs to end up with Max. She needs to be single. Thank you. Next. Number 11. Mike confesses his love for Will in episode 5, continuing the Byler pattern that's been established thus far. For example, season 1, episode 1 is, it was a 7, the Demogorgon, it got me. Flickergate canon. Season 2, episode 2 is, if we go crazy, we'll go crazy together. You see where I'm going with this? Season 3, episode 3 was their little fight in the rain. Season 4, episode 4 was, it's Hawkins, it's not the same without you. Number 12, Jonathan and Nancy come to terms with their relationship and either reconcile or break up. Jonathan confessing that he doesn't want to go to college where Nancy is, and Nancy admits she feels slightly ignored in the relationship as stated in season 4. Episode 1 of season 4, she's talking to Fred and she's like, yeah, it bugs me that he's not coming to Hawkins, but whatever. I think Jancy's cooked. Number 13, Will and Eleven get lots of sibling moments, which probably could have been included in the teaming up prediction, but whatever. They're just gonna be super cute. Byers twins. Number 14, Joyce and Will have a sweet conversation, him possibly coming out to her and her being supportive, of course, because as we know, Will has already come out to Jonathan, essentially. I mean, like, Jonathan knows. And so I think it would be really sweet and comforting in such a heavy season for him to come out to Joyce and her to just fully support him in everything because she's an amazing mom. Number 15 has a very similar theme. Hopper and Elle will have a heart-to-heart since being separated in season 4, and they just totally, I don't know, father-daughter stuff. Hopper's gonna say something ridiculous, and it's gonna have all of us crying, just like season 3 and season 4, because that's what they do with his character. Number 16, Lucas and Erica will spend most of their time in the hospital with Max. And this isn't me saying they won't have time with the rest of the group, because I totally think they will, because this season I feel like everyone is going to be in one tight-knit group that breaks off eventually. But I think Lucas and Erica will be spending most of their time in the hospital with Max while she's in her coma. Number 17, Lucas might die protecting Max either right after she wakes up or while she's still in her coma. He could also be protecting Erica. I don't want Lucas to die. I adore Lucas. He's one of the only characters that really doesn't make me mad other than season 4 whenever he's trying to be popular but I mean, he comes to his senses, so it's okay. Number 18. This is kind of sad, but I feel like Derek is gonna be this season's Eddie or Bob, making the audience fall in love with him before ripping him away. Or maybe he'll be one of the few to survive, who knows? I have that in here. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, Derek is one of the season's new characters. This show has a great habit of making you fall in love with a character and then ripping them away and like just completely destroying them. Examples of this: Bob, Eddie, Billy, and I mean, we don't really love Billy in season 2, but then like he redeems himself, so Billy. There was another one. Oh, and Alexi. So I feel like Derek is going to be the next one. Number 19, Steve and Jonathan will have a heart-to-heart in part 2, deciding that their past relationship should be left behind and just completely reconciling. And Steve will confess that he's the one who got Jonathan the camera in season 1, not Nancy, because at the end of season 1, Nancy gives Jonathan a new camera for Christmas, but she goes to the living room and Steve is like, "Did you give it to him?" Implying that Steve's the one who bought it, not Nancy. And Jonathan still doesn't know, which just kills me. I also think that Steve and Jonathan are going to have a lot of cool moments together, and they're really going to have a good friendship, and I'm all for it. But also I've heard that they're competing for Nancy's attention, which is a whole other thing, but I don't want to talk about that. Number 20, Max is going to wake up at the end of part 1, and that will be the episode's ending, leaving us on a great cliffhanger and getting us hyped up for chapter 2, or part 2, sorry. With this one, I really do think Max is going to wake up. Is she going to live by the end of the season? Only time will tell, but I do think she's going to wake up from her coma, and it would be a great mid-season reveal and cliffhanger to like get everyone hyped up for part 2, because hello, it's Max. So those are all the ones I have. If you disagree with them, that's fine. I don't really care. If you have different predictions that might make more sense than mine, please leave them in the comments. I would really appreciate it because I love hearing fan theories. And yeah, if you have any death predictions, leave them in the comments because I live off of it. But you have to give me a reasoning for their death. I can't just be like, oh, Joyce is gonna die because she just is. First of all, I don't think she is. Second of all, you have to give me more of a reason than just, oh, she's gonna die. Happy holiday season, happy Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, whatever you celebrate and whatever you don't celebrate. Yeah, and if you're from the future, how is Stranger Things 5? Was it good or was it good? Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.